In the highlands of South Sulawesi, Indonesia, there's a grandmother who hasn't missed a family gathering in 30 years. She's dressed in her finest gowns. Her grandchildren fix her hair. Someone lights a cigarette and places it between her lips. There's just one problem. She's been dead for 3 decades. This isn't a horror movie. It isn't a crime scene. It's Tuesday afternoon in Toraja, and what you're about to see challenges everything you think you know about death. If you search for Tana Toraja on Instagram, you'll find what looks like paradise. Emerald rice terraces carved into volcanic mountains. Traditional boat-shaped houses with horns pointing to the sky. Smiling locals in hand-woven textiles. Travel blogs call it Indonesia's hidden gem. A cultural wonderland just an hour's flight from Makassar. The Indonesian Tourism Board has been pushing it hard since they opened Toraja Airport in the early 2020s. Cut that brutal 10-hour bus ride down to 55 minutes. 1.1 million people call this region home. The Torajan people, and on the surface, their lives look like many indigenous communities adapting to the modern world. Most identify as Christian now. Protestant, Catholic, they work in cities. They have smartphones. They send their kids to university in Jakarta. But every August, something happens. The diaspora returns. The young professionals, the miners from Kalimantan, the office workers from high-rises, they come home. Not for a holiday, not for a wedding. They come home to open the graves. But beneath the surface, death in Toraja is not what it seems. Here's where it gets disturbing. When someone dies in Toraja, they don't die. Not officially. The Torajan language has no immediate word for dead person at the moment of death. Instead, the deceased is called to Makula, the sick person. They bring breakfast, place it on a tray beside the body. They offer cigarettes, they talk to them. How are you feeling today, grandfather? The lights stay on at night, because you wouldn't leave a sick person alone in the dark, would you? This isn't a metaphor. This isn't poetry. This is the legal and social status of a corpse in Toraja. You're not dead until the water buffalo is sacrificed at your funeral. And if your family can't afford that funeral yet, you're just sick. Now, you might be wondering, how is this physically possible? The answer is as clinical as it is chilling: formalin. Massive doses of formaldehyde injected immediately after death. It stops decay cold, firms up the tissue, prevents the smell. You can keep a formalin-preserved body in your living room for 5 years without your neighbors noticing. But the funeral is just the beginning. Because in Toraja, death isn't a one-time event, it's a cycle. And every 3 years, the dead come back. To understand Manene, we have to break your brain a little. Western culture treats life and death as binary. You're a 1 or a 0, alive or dead. The line is clear. Torajan cosmology, it's a spectrum. The indigenous belief system is called Olok Tadolo, the way of the ancestors. Officially, the Indonesian government classifies it as a branch of Hinduism, but that's bureaucratic fiction. Olok Tadolo is its own thing. The universe has 3 levels. The upper world, sky, and heaven. The world of man, that's us. And the underworld. The final destination for the human soul is Puya, the land of spirits, somewhere in the cosmic south. But here's the catch. Dying doesn't get you into Puya automatically. You need a ticket, and that ticket is paid for by your family. If they don't perform the proper rituals, if they don't sacrifice enough buffaloes, if they skimp on the ceremony, your soul becomes a bumbo, a wandering spirit. And bumbo don't just haunt, they curse. Crop failures, illness, misfortune that follows a family for generations. So the living depend on the dead for blessings, good harvests, health, prosperity, and the dead depend on the living for care, for offerings, for remembrance. It's a contract, written in formaldehyde and sunlight. This is where Manene comes in. Let's talk money, because in Toraja, death is the economy. The currency isn't rupiah, it's buffalo, specifically the Tidong water buffalo. the vehicle that carries souls to the afterlife. The most prized specimen, Torajan Seleco albino or piebald buffalo with specific markings. They sell for $50,000. These animals are massaged, guarded like heads of state, fed specialized diets, all so they can be ritually slaughtered at a funeral to prove your family's status. A high-status Torajan funeral, a Rambu solo, can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. The sacrifice of 24, 50, sometimes 100 plus buffaloes. But here's the thing, most families can't afford that. Not immediately. So they save, for years, sometimes decades. Young Torajans leave the highlands. They work in Makassar, Jakarta, the mining towns of Kalimantan and Papua, and they send money home, not for themselves, for the dead. Because Manene isn't free. Every 3-year cycle requires new clothes for the corpses, expensive suits, gowns, traditional textiles, sacrificial pigs, and buffaloes for the feast. New coffins if the old ones are rotting, offerings of cigarettes, betel nut, palm wine. A single Manene cycle can cost a family thousands of dollars. But here's the genius of it. This system acts as a wealth redistribution mechanism. Money earned in urban centers flows back to rural villages. It pays local breeders, local carpenters, local textile weavers, and it ensures that the diaspora comes home. Because if you don't show up to Manene, if you don't help dress your grandmother, the social consequences are severe. You've broken the contract. You've shamed the family. And the ancestors, they remember. Manene happens in August, sometimes early September, always during the dry season, after the rice harvest. There's no single Manene day. Each village, each lembang, decides its own schedule through council meetings of elders. The epicenter is North Toraja district. 3 regions, specifically Barupu, the traditional heartland. The strictest, they hold synchronized mass rituals, where entire villages open their tombs at once. Panggala, known for elaborate military uniforms on the dead. Veterans dressed in full Indonesian police or army dress. Lembang Payton, the tourist-friendly zone, closest to the capital, Rantap. Let me walk you through what actually happens. Step 1. The opening prayer. Before a single stone is moved, the Ni Tomina, the traditional priest, performs the Masamba. He chants in High Torajan, an apology, an explanation, a request. Wake up, ancestors. We have come to serve you. Grant us permission to open this door. Bless us with your presence. Give us health, give us fertility, give us rice. Only after the prayer can the tomb be opened. The smell hits first. Musty fabric, old wood, chemicals. Families enter. Sometimes the crypts are packed. Dozens of coffins in a single chamber. They locate their relatives. Carry the coffins out into open air. Step 2. The sun drying. This part is critical. The corpses are removed from their coffins and laid in direct sunlight. Why? 2 reasons. Physically, UV radiation kills bacteria and mold that grow in the damp crypts. It desiccates tissue. Spiritually, the sun recharges the ancestors' energy, brings vitality back to the dead. If the body was naturally mummified decades ago, the skin is dark, leathery, almost wooden. If it was embalmed recently with formalin, it's grayish, rigid. The facial features are often eerily intact. Step 3. The cleaning. This is the image that goes viral. Families use paintbrushes, soft brooms, dry cloths. They sweep away dust, insect casings, debris from years in the dark, and they talk. Grandfather, how have you been? Mother, look, this is your great-grandson. He was born 2 years ago. We're here to take care of you. Children participate. It's normalized. A 5-year-old will adjust her dead grandmother's collar without flinching. Step 4. A changing boot. The old garments, often 3 years of decay, are removed. Then comes the fashion show. Men get Western suits, ties, fedoras, and sunglasses to cover the hollow eye sockets. Women get elaborate gowns, traditional kebaya, sometimes full wedding dresses, as if they're being married to eternity. In Panggala, you'll see full military dress, medals and all. These are veterans. Their service to the nation preserved in death. The clothing isn't cheap. Families spend hundreds on a single outfit. Step 5. The party. Once dressed, the dead become guests of honor. Cigarettes lit and placed between their lips. Betel nut offered. Palm wine poured. And then, the photo. 3, 4, sometimes 5 generations. Living relatives surround the standing corpse. Everyone smiles. These photos are treasured, shared on WhatsApp, printed, and framed. They go viral on social media every August. Western viewers recoil, share with WTF captions. But for Torajans, this is love. Step 6. The return. After hours, sometimes days of celebration, the ancestors are wrapped in protective outer layers. Returned to their coffins, carried back into the crypt. The door is sealed. The ancestors return to their sleep for 3 more years. Let me tell you about one specific ceremony. August 2024, Barupo village. The village had been planning this for months. Messages sent across the diaspora, flights booked, sacrificial pigs purchased. This wasn't just any Manene. This was the mass synchronization. Dozens of families opening their tombs simultaneously. The day starts at dawn. The Ni Tamina begins the prayers at first light. His voice echoes across the valley, a chant that's been passed down for centuries. One tomb in particular drew attention. The Ronti family pattern, their mausoleum carved into the limestone cliff in the 1950s. Inside, 12 coffins, spanning 4 generations. The youngest son, Marcus, had flown in from Jakarta. He hadn't been home in 3 years. His job in IT kept him away. But not today. He helped carry out the coffin of his grandmother, Nenek Tading. She died in 1997. He was 7 years old. The body was remarkably preserved. The family had paid for good formalin treatment. Her skin was intact, her features recognizable. Marcus used a soft brush to clean her face. In an interview recorded that day, he said, "People think we are crazy. They see the photos and they think we have no respect. But this is respect. In your culture, you put flowers on a grave once a year and call it love. We dress our grandmother. We talk to her. We make sure she knows we remember." They dressed her in a new yellow baju, Paco, the traditional blouse. Yellow for vitality, for nobility. Her daughter Marcus's mother fixed the wig, adjusted the necklace. Then came the photo. Marcus's mother held one arm. Marcus held the other. His young daughter, Nenek Toding's great-great-granddaughter, age 4, stood in front. For generations, the little girl later told her mother, "Nenek smells like the hospital, but she's pretty." They lit a Guten Garum cigarette, Nenek Toding's brand, when she was alive, and placed it between her lips. The smoke curled up into the mountain air. In the background, the ritual slaughter began. Buffaloes for the feast. The bellowing echoed off the cliffs. By evening, Nenek Tading was re-wrapped, returned to her coffin, carried back into the darkness. Marcus sealed the door. He would return to Jakarta the next morning, back to his apartment, his computer, his meetings. But for one day, he had been home, and his grandmother had been alive. So what do we do with this? In the West, we've sanitized death, hidden it in hospitals and funeral homes. We see a corpse once at the viewing, then never again. We don't touch the dead. We don't speak to them. We certainly don't dress them up for a party 3 years later. Our grief is private, clinical. We're expected to move on, get closure. But the Torajans, they never move on. And maybe that's the point. According to the 2023 ethnographic studies, Torajan families who practice Manene report lower rates of complicated grief, stronger multi-generational family cohesion, higher rates of return migration from urban areas. Dr. Teguh Wijayamulya, a thanatologist who studied Manene for a decade, said, "Western psychology treats prolonged contact with the deceased as pathological, but in Toraja, it's therapeutic. The corpse is a transitional object. It allows the family to process loss gradually, communally, across years. Every August, thousands of tourists descend on North Toraja. They want to see the zombie ritual, The Walking Dead. They arrive expecting horror, morbidity, barbarism, but most leave changed. Because when you watch a 4-year-old girl gently fix her great-great-grandmother's necklace, when you see a grown man weep while brushing dust off his father's face, you realize you're not watching a culture that doesn't understand death. You're watching a culture that understands it better than we do. The next major synchronized Manene in Barupu is projected for August 2026. The families are already saving, booking flights, preparing textiles. Somewhere in Jakarta, a young man is marking his calendar, saving his vacation days, calculating how many buffalo he can afford, because in 3 years, his family will open the tomb again, and the dead will wake up. The line between life and death is thinner than you think. In Toraja, they never let you forget that. Whether it's supernatural or psychological, the love in these crypts is all too real. And the ancestors, they're still watching.